Well, hello there. My name is Courtney Spaeth. I'm an online business coach and lifestyle mentor. And today I'm going to show you how I'm going to teach you the step-by-step formula, the framework to start an online business for total beginners. So I was a beginner a long time ago, and I figured things out. So years ago, I was a complete beginner in business. I knew absolutely nothing. And I decided that in my mid 30s, I was going to pivot my career and I started completely fresh. I used to be in the holistic nutrition and wellness realm. I did that for a number of years and then decided I was going to go to school to become an esthetician. And I wanted to work for myself. So I did work for somebody for 1 year. And at the end of that year, I had less than 5 clients and I just wasn't busy. So I knew there was something better for me. And I knew that I wanted to work for myself. Even though I knew nothing about business, how to grow a business, how to market, is how to do social media, I knew absolutely nothing. And I figured it all out. And almost a decade later, I had a thriving full service salon and skincare studio, generated over 6 figures, and it was just absolutely amazing. Took me a lot of trial and error, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, literal blood, sweat, and tears, to figure everything out, but I did. And it gave me the life that I absolutely loved. We took vacations whenever we wanted. I was able to pay off loads of debt. And I had a really great opportunity for me, or, opportunity that I had grown. And now I want to teach you the same thing. So, as a total beginner, I can totally empathize where you are. And I know that you want to create a life that you love and that gives you the time freedom and financial freedom to do the things that you want. So, we're going to get started. And today I'm teaching total beginners how to go from absolutely no idea to an online business in just 20 minutes. I don't teach any fluff. So I like straight to the point strategy and framework. And that's what I'm teaching you today. So I want to let you know, you do not need a fancy degree. You don't need a huge audience or all these high fancy tech skills to start an online business. In the next 20 minutes or so, I'll try to make it as quick as possible without leaving anything important out. I'm going to walk you through the exact strategy that I used back in the day to set up an online business, and it'll be step by step. So if you've ever dreamed of making money online, but you just didn't know where to start, this is for you. So let's start with a very first important step. You need to find out what you're going to sell. So you need to find a problem that most people have and figure out a way to solve it. So this is great if you are like the go-to person that people ask you for what kind of meals are you making? You're great in the kitchen. You always seem to whip up these really fancy, nice meals, and you have a nice meal plan. You know what you're doing each week. I want to learn. What's your secret? What's your plan? So, what is one thing that you're known for? It could be organizing, writing, budgeting. So, if you're really great with finances and you figured out a very simple way to track your finances, that's amazing. That's your skill. Meal planning, like I had said, or even techie stuff. I know we're not, this is for beginners and we're not hitting super hardcore with the techie stuff, but if tech comes easy to you, but there's a lot of other things that don't, this is perfect for you. Or even lived in experiences like navigating grief or menopause. Maybe you've been through menopause and you have some friends that, or no family, other people that are just maybe coming into the menopause stage, and you know a really great way to help them because you figured it out. You've already been through it. You know what to do. You know what not to do. You know other things that help. So what may come easy for you might be super challenging for somebody else, and they need help simplifying. So that's where you step in. Some examples are you could be you can make meal plans for busy moms. So maybe you've figured out the trick to creating meal plans each week, sticking to it, and making meals that your family loves in little time, or doing it on a budget. Um, so if you think about, well, what skills do I have? What could I help people with? Sometimes that brings like a mindset block where you're having a little a little struggle thinking of skills that you have. You could turn that question around and say, what do people come to me for help with? Like that might be an easier question to ask versus what am I good at? Because if I were to ask myself, what am I good at? I immediately would create that mental block and I'd be like, I don't know. What am I good at? So reverse the question and instead ask, what do people come to me for help with? What do I find easy that others find hard? Or what if I figured out the hard way and now could teach somebody else a shortcut to? So that question is a really great one. So if you see me looking off, I'm just looking at my notes because I do have a lot to go through today and I don't want to leave anything out. So what have I figured out the hard way and could teach somebody else a shortcut to? That is what I'm doing with you now. I'm taking things that were very challenging, very hard, and I simplified it, and that's what I'm teaching you now. So your skill doesn't have to be flashy or technical. It just has to solve a real problem that someone else is facing. So here are some examples that you could uh, skill set examples that could become a business. So meal planning on a budget, you could turn that into a digital planner, a recipe bundle, or a how-to guide, decluttering and organization. Maybe you offer room by room checklists or a one-on-one home reset session. Maybe, like I said, you are really great with the techie stuff, like Zoom or Canva or setting up email scripts or PDFs. You could help older adults or busy women get set up with tutorials. So these are just some examples. Maybe you're really great at creative gift ideas or party planning, like the Pinteresty party planning type stuff. Maybe that is your skill. Maybe you are excellent and people are always envious of your parties. So you could turn that into a business because that's something that comes easy for you. But for a lot of other people like myself, that doesn't come very easy. So maybe you sell themed event templates or celebration guides or a checklist of everything that needs to go into creating a super successful event. Maybe you've been working out for 6 months or a year, or maybe you've lost a ton of weight, or you've become very toned and fit. You could create workout plans and sell them as either like a mini course or a little tutorial or like a little ebook or a guide. You could package your product and sell it as that. So in there, it could have a few different workout routines or different exercises or a wellness routine, maybe an evening wind down or a morning ritual guide, something that works really well for you that you've learned over the years or months and simplified and made your life easier. So that's what we're trying to do with this online business is take our skill, things that we have learned, package it up and turn around to sell it for $7 to $97. We'll get to that in a minute. But package up your skill, your knowledge, because like I said, what comes easy to you might come very difficult to somebody else, but they want to learn those steps. They want to learn how to have that life. So another example is budgeting or debt payoff. If you're really good in the financial realm, maybe you create a simple financial tracker, or you could do a budgeting boot camp. So finances, another area that doesn't really come too easy to me. So if I was somebody wanting to pay off debt or get on a budget or learn how to manage my finances better, I would definitely be looking for like a freebie or something that I could purchase that would kind of be like a step-by-step guide or a tutorial on how to properly budget or manage finances or strategy or framework to get debt paid off as quickly as possible. So those are just some examples for you. Once you know the problem that you're going to solve, the next step is choosing how to deliver the solution. So you're going to keep it simple. You're going to just start with one easy option. So it could be a download, like a digital download, like a guide, a checklist, or a planner. You could create a mini course, kind of like an enhancement course or a tutorial. You could do that. Or you could set up a service like coaching or consulting and just pick one. Just pick one and start there and get your feet wet and get the ball rolling. And then from there, if you want to expand to something else, you could always do that. But just pick one and go with that. Again, you want to start small. So with pricing, we're going to start around the $7 range. And then you can price it anywhere between $7 to $97. So my opinion on low ticket prices are under $97. Once you start going above 97, that could be considered, for some, I guess, still low ticket or more in the medium ticket range. So it could be 100 to 247. That could be like your medium ticket range. But we're going to focus on the low ticket. So between $7 and $97. The other thing that you need to think of when you're pricing your product is how much time are you investing to creating this product and how much value are you giving it? So I like to say, over deliver. Like state everything out, list everything out, the value that they're getting, but then over deliver because you want them to think like, holy crap, this is amazing. And I only paid $7 for it. Yeah. So think about the value that you're going to be including in your product and then price it accordingly. You don't want to have it too high. So if you don't want to have it too high to scare off your potential audience, you need to know who you're marketing to. Super important. So if you're marketing to people that are, how do I say this? If you're marketing to people, if your audience is more like the bargain shopper, they're very money conscious. They're looking for a great deal. Then maybe you want to be down to the seven to maybe $27 mark and then over deliver with value. If your audience is they don't mind paying a little bit more for value and for what they're going to be learning, maybe you price it at $47 to $97. So you have to know your audience, who you want to work with, who you want to buy your product, and then price it accordingly. So okay, helpful tip, do not look at your competitor and say, well, they're doing this for $47, so that's what I should charge. Don't do that. They just keep your eyes on your own path. Don't pay attention to anybody else and what they're doing. And certainly do not price your stuff according to what other people are charging. Figure out your value, what you offer, and price it accordingly. So when you're creating your product, whether it's the tutorial, a lead, like a landing page or your digital product, you have a couple options. So there's Canva. Canva offers a very free, not a very free, a free option. And it is amazing. It has a lot of features. So it's a really great place to start. You also have the option for Google Docs. So you can create everything in a Google Doc. You don't need to make it fancy or super pretty or super decorative. People want the content. They want the framework. They want the structure. So you can make it aesthetically pleasing for sure, but don't make that the focus on what you're creating. So I would say the value, the guts of your content come first, and then the aesthetics come second. Um, for Canva, if you have Canva, you can do the free option. Like I said, if you don't have the Pro is a paid. That's what I have, and it is hands down amazing for all of the features, everything else that you get. But if you are watching your dollars and just starting out, because like I said, this is for beginners, so maybe you have the free option for Canva. You can also download the Canva app and then online create what you want and then use your phone to download it to your phone. And then you can post it out onto the platform, which we're going to get into in a second. So pick which platform is easiest for you to deliver. So either it's Canva or Google Docs, and set your price accordingly. So anywhere between $7 to $97. That's going to be the low ticket price frame. So let's move on to the tech tools that you're going to need to make this a reality. If you need to pause, that's totally fine. Maybe you do just a little bit one day and a little bit the next day. Otherwise, just keep it playing, keep on listening. So the few tech tools that you're going to need to get started, you're going to need a very simple landing page. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It doesn't need to be high tech or fancy, just something very simple and doable. You can use, create the landing page in Canva, which is really great. And easy to do. Otherwise, you can use StanStore, which I've never used StanStore. I know people that do, and they rave about it. I know a lot of creators out there use StanStore and love it. I use system.io, and I found that it is very user-friendly. And there is also a free option. So it doesn't have as many bells and whistles as the paid option, of course, but the free system on system.io, totally doable. After you create your landing page or your digital store, you're going to need to set up a payment processor. So you can use PayPal or Stripe. I have used both, and I found used to be very user-friendly. And then also your email service provider. So there's a lot of really great companies out there that do have free options. MailChimp is one. Constant Contact is another email service provider. Flowdesk, ConvertKit, which is now known as Kit. I used to use Flowdesk, and I used that for about a year. I found that it was very user-friendly, a lot of really great drag and drop options. There was some more things that I needed, so I transitioned over to Kit, and I'm still pretty fresh with Kit. But so far, I'm liking it. I find that it's very user-friendly, and it has the features that I need, that I was looking for, that Flowdesk did not have. So again, most platforms, they are the drag and drop option. You don't need any coding experience, which is nice. So you can start to finish, you can be fully set up in a weekend or a day if you really just focus on getting that done. So don't overthink the design. You just need to get it up and working. So you can do all the branding, all the aesthetics, like the visuals later, but just get it up and running. Pick a platform that you're going to be using. StanStore, System.io, Shopify, Wix. Once you have that, then figure out who you're using for your payments, how you're going to get paid, and then also your email provider. So you need to be gathering emails from people that are buying from you, or if you're putting out a free digital product or like a lead magnet. So that's something of value that you're going to be getting their email address in exchange for that lead magnet. So don't overthink it. That can come later. Just get everything up and working. So now that you're set up, you might be wondering, well, how on earth do I get people to buy from me? I am a nobody in the online space. Nobody knows me. I have no followers. how am I going to get people to find out about me and what I have to offer? Well, good. Glad you asked, because we're moving on to that next. I want you, once you have everything set up, you're going to figure out your digital product, whatever you have, and you're going to be sharing it. So you're going to have that link. If you did it in Canva, you can publish and get a public link. So everything is stored in Canva or in your Google Doc, or you can create it in Canva and then transfer it over to your Google Doc. And then you share the link from there. If you do it in Google Doc, make sure that when you click the share button that you're you're checking the dial to anybody with the link versus private. I have made that mistake before and couldn't figure out why nobody was able to access the link. Well, I didn't have it set up properly. So either one is fine. So try, grab a piece of paper, just pause the video, grab a piece of paper or your notebook or your phone. You can do it on your phone too. But I want you to make a list of family, friends, coworkers, anybody that you know that would benefit from the product or lead magnet that you created. So once you have that list, I want you to send it to them. And in exchange, I want you to ask for testimonial or feedback. That's going to be super important going forward because you need to have some social proof. So, and the feedback can be good or bad, because if it's negative, then you're going to know where to pivot, what to change to make it even better. So just that extra information is going to help you down the road. So the other option that you have, you can participate in Facebook groups. So I will say with Facebook groups, you do not want to just go into the Facebook group and start kind of being that slimy salesperson. Go into the Facebook group, introduce yourself, be a part of the group and offer your knowledge, offer value. So scroll through some questions or a topic on what your product is. So maybe you're doing something with nutrition. So in the Facebook group, search up nutrition, and anybody that has questions about meal plans or nutrition or cooking or baking or recipes, that's going to be your area of expertise. So answer back on those questions and say, here's a really great recipe that I found helpful, or here's a really great way to do a meal plan. Here's mine. But just put the value in the Facebook group. Okay. You're not going to say, oh, you're wanting a meal plan. Yep, I have a meal plan. It's $37. Okay. Don't go there just yet. One step at a time. So you're trying to warm up the audience and get them to know you and to be able to trust you. So that's where providing value first comes in super handy. So again, post value, no sales pitches. You want to educate, you want to entertain, you want to inspire and motivate the audience. So that way down the road, they'll feel comfortable buying from you because they know all of this other knowledge, all of this other value that you just provided. And they're more of a warm audience than when it is time to start promoting yourself. Some Facebook groups, they do have certain rules that you do have to abide by. Some admins might be more sticklerish than others, so pay attention to that. Some Facebook groups say, you can only self-promote on the first and third Wednesday of the month, or we only allow promotions or sales offers on Tuesdays. Okay, so pay attention to that because some admins are sticklers, and if you break one of their rules, you'll get booted right away, even on the first offense. That has not happened to me. I have been warned once, and it was just, I forgot the rule. So that was my bad. But make sure you pay attention to the rules so you don't go against their standards. When you're sharing it on social media, you can share it in your stories. If you're on Instagram, if you go to the search bar at the top, you can, or the stickers tab, you can go down to link and actually put the link for your lead magnet or your product in your story, and then link it to your digital store, which is really great. And then otherwise, if you're creating a post, you can, on Facebook, you can create the link right in the caption, and then that'll be another way for your audience to find you. So one techie thing, AI is ChatGPT or Claude. Those are two really great options to help you determine your brand voice, your brand tone, how you want your captions to sound going forward. So if you use ChatGPT or any other AI tool, put in there the prompt that you want it to create. So who you serve, so who your audience is or your ideal client, what pain point you're going to be hitting, the solution, how you want the caption to sound, and the format. So that way it will give you a really great response. And of course, you can always tweak it. I have been a work in progress on this. So I have trained my ChatGPT to sound like me when I'm creating captions. I make it sound exactly like me, and it took me a little bit to get there. It is a work in progress. So in the caption, you can use your link, and maybe your caption is just as simple as, hey, I made this resource for women struggling with, and then list it out, want the link, and then post the link underneath it. You want to include a call to action. So it can be as simple as comment link if you want this, or if this sounds like you, send me a message or DM me the word guide and I'll send it right over. Or you can use ChatGPT or Claude to come up with some other calls to action that sound like your brand, instead of snag this, buy here, click this. So those are very basic and boring. Spice it up a little bit. And of course, with this, you're going to be collecting those email addresses to help grow your email list. I will say with social media, the businesses that strictly build their business on social media and do not collect email addresses, if that social platform ever goes down, they're going to be in a world of hurt because they have basically just lost their entire business. So that's why it is super important to build up that email list. Your email list is like owned property. Nobody can take that away from you. Social media, that's rented property. So whoever the landlord is, if they decide, oh, sorry, well, we're going to be shutting down and everything is going away, next month, then you're SOL. So you have no way to keep in contact with that audience that you took however much time to build up. So that's why collecting email addresses, super, super important. All right. You've shared your offer. Now let's talk about how to get that first sale. I want you to ask around if there's any people that they know that would be a great fit for you, or you could offer a founder's discount to the first 5, 10, 25 people, however many people you want to offer this discount to. If you're offering something for $27, maybe you offer 50% discount. Or you could say for the first 10 people to register, it is absolutely free. Tomorrow the price goes up to $7. And then the third day you could say, oh, price is going up to $27. You could do something like that. That will create that urgency. So people that want to get in, that are on the fence, that they get in kind of right away before the price goes up. Because I don't know anybody, if they could pay less, they certainly will versus paying more. And also, this is a great way to get feedback and testimonials, even if it's free or very low cost. So once somebody buys your product, You're going to send out that email with the link, and then they get it. And then you're going to send up a follow-up email, and you're going to check in with them and see if they downloaded it, if they've used it, if they've implemented what they found that worked best. So just start offering those questions to get that feedback from them. Hopefully they respond. If you're offering it for free, if you're offering it complimentary, maybe you could say, in exchange for you getting this free, please respond with a feedback or your testimonial. That would be another way to get a response from them. So once that first sale happens, the goal is to always keep showing up. Just keep showing up. That first sale that you get, it's like, ooh, okay, that was a win. Somebody validated what I had to offer. And then that's going to create more momentum. So once you see 2, 3, 10, 15, 25 sales start rolling in, it's going to build up even more momentum. And you're going to be like, ooh, I love this. So once something is set in motion, it's going to stay in motion, and you're going to keep making those sales. So the people that keep showing up, they're the winners, period. They keep pushing through. They keep going day after day, even in the hard times, even when they don't feel like it. They keep posting content. They keep working on their business. They keep pushing through. Those people are in the winner's circle. Next, I want you to pick one platform. So think about Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or TikTok, whatever it is. Pick one and focus on that. Don't think about doing Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Just focus on one platform and go all in. It's going to help simplify. It's going to keep the overwhelm and stress down, especially if this is brand new to you. You don't want to overcomplicate anything. So just focus on one platform. And then after you decide which platform you're going to use, I want you to create a schedule. And this is going to be a minimum of 3 days a week that you're going to be posting. Again, that's the minimum. So if you want to do more, you certainly can. You don't have to. But let's say you want to post Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. That's going to be your 3 days. You're going to do that every single week. You can post different times throughout the week, because in the beginning, it's going to be trial and error to find out which time frame your audience, your ideal audience, is more active on that platform. So it's going to be a little trial and error at first until you become more familiar with the platform and your audience. So maybe you share your journey or some tips or strategies or just some simple advice. Again, you can use an AI tool, either Claude or ChatGPT, to help create that caption, especially if you're new. Creating the right type of caption that sounds like your brand and your voice is going to be super helpful. So you're working smarter, not harder. And my last tip for you is, don't think about going viral. Okay. Just create content, keep that one person or that specific audience in your mind, and create content for that person or that audience. So once you do that, it takes the stress away versus trying to create something that you think that you're hoping will go viral and you're watching the reactions. It can be so disheartening if you spend all of this time creating something online that is so great, and you've poured your mind and your heart and soul into this caption and these strategies and the information that you're putting out. It can be so disheartening if you spend all this time, you post, and then it's like crickets. Nobody responds, nobody engages, nobody comments, nobody shares, nobody hearts it. And then you keep checking back and it's like, well, nobody likes what I'm creating. I should just stop. No, you don't need to do that. Don't focus on how many likes or comments that you're getting. Just focus on creating value and pushing that value out to your audience. And again, keep consistent on your schedule. Doesn't have to be the same time each day that you're posting, but pick your days and go from there and be consistent. So my other bonus tip for you is even if you created something a month ago or 6 months ago or even a year ago, you can repurpose that content. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel every single time. But take that post, maybe put it into ChatGPT and say, please give me a different perspective or a different strategy on this, and maybe some other details in there. But it will spit out, it'll give you a response of something new that you could use. So you could use the same video, you could use the same photo, and maybe add a different caption and then call to action on there. And there you go. So super simple. Maybe if you have a blog, you could turn that into an Instagram caption. You could turn it into a reel or an email. So again, don't reinvent the wheel. You want to make this as simple as possible while providing high value. So before we wrap up, I know we just talked about a lot of different things, and I kind of went through this kind of fast. So maybe you need to go back and rewatch it or just pause. And then if you were taking notes, review your notes. But to wrap up and to recap, you're going to pick the problem and the product that you're going to be doing. You're going to create a simple digital product or store or service, excuse me. And then with your tech, your setup, the store or the landing page, your email service provider, and then your payment system. Next, you're going to share your offer. So do it in the stories, include that link or create the caption and post. And then you're going to focus on getting that first sale. So focus on that one product, that one service, push it out, promote it, don't be afraid to promote your offer. That's how you're going to get business. You're going to get that sale. So you want to focus on making that first sale because again, momentum creates momentum. What starts in motion or gets set in motion stays in motion. And also, that's going to help you build that know, like, and trust factor with your audience. And with the content, focus on high value. So here's my encouragement to you. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know every single thing. You don't need to be an expert. It's just something that you know that you've done, that you've simplified, and you know that works. Because it might be super difficult for somebody else, or it might be very overwhelming for them, or they just have no clue how to do it in the first place. That's where you step in. That's where you come in. They want your expertise. They want your knowledge, and people are willing to pay for it. So you don't need to be perfect. You don't have to have everything aesthetically pleasing. You don't have to have everything perfectly polished. You just need to start. So as a reminder, you are not too late, you are not too old, and you are not behind. So if you're here, welcome. I'm Courtney Spaeth. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be putting out so much more content and videos and other helpful things to help you level up in life and business. So if you're here, you're ready to go, let's do this.